Hello, good evening. Today we'll be looking at ethical clearance in research. Ethical clearance in research. This is the process of obtaining ethical clearance and how ethical standards were maintained throughout the study. So in this section of the chapter 3, you should be able to make your readers know that this is the ethical issues that I avoided, or these are the ethical issues that I maintained. Okay, then you tell us how you obtained the ethical clearance that this work you are carrying out does not offend human or does not contravene the rights of the participants. That's what we are looking at. Then you would go further to tell us how standards were maintained throughout the study. So this should be made what? Clear. How you obtain clearance of the participants and how you ensure that none of their fundamental human rights were breached. So we said that ethical clearance is the process of obtaining approval from an ethics review board or committee before conducting research involving human participants. So this is very, very important when we are carrying out research that involve human subjects. And this is very, very important in public health. This ensures that the research adheres to ethical standards and guidelines. There are ethical standards and guidelines that have been set by ethical review board so that your research work does not offend human or breach human rights. Okay, so this ensures that the research adheres to ethical standards and guidelines, therefore promoting and protecting the rights and well-being of the participants. The process typically involves submitting a detailed research proposal that outlines the study objectives, methods, potential risk, and benefits. So this is what is involved in that proposal. You are going to write a proposal stating the objectives, methods, potential risk, and benefits. Then you submit it to ethical review board or committee. This committee usually will now look into the ethical part of the work you want to carry out, whether it violates human rights and well-being. So after they have critically reviewed it, they can either give you a clearance to go ahead with the research or will deny you the ethical clearance for some reasons, like maybe it will violate human rights. Now, let's use an example to explain this ethical clearance. Example, imagine a medical researcher planning a clinical trial to test a new drug for a specific medical condition. Before initiating the study, the researcher must submit a comprehensive research protocol to an ethics review board. The board assesses the ethical implications and ensuring that the potential benefits of that research outweighs the risk and that the participants' rights and well-being are safeguarded. So this is what actually happens when a drug is being tested. At the first phase, they try it with animal subjects. But once it gets to human subjects, they must obtain ethical approval so that they will know that what is being carried out would not be offensive to human subject or human participants in that research. They will have to obtain this so that the benefit of going to that trial should outweigh the risk that the participants would face, and also the rights and well-being of the participants are all safeguarded. So that's the essence of submitting an ethical clearance. Okay. Now let's look at components of this ethical clearance. One is beneficence, doing good. Research should only be carried out if some sort of benefit or good can be derived from it. For example, that research should contribute to knowledge or improve services that are existing or treatment. If no benefit can be derived from the research, then that research work is unethical and therefore should not be carried out. That's why they say the benefit must outweigh the risk. Another component is autonomy, self-rule. Autonomy involves respecting individuals' rights to self-determination and ensuring that they voluntarily and with informed consent choose to participate in the research. And when we say informed consent, it actually means that the researcher have explained to the participant the risk, the benefit, the options that are available. By so doing, the participants must have understood everything and gives approval for the research to be carried on his specimen or collection of his data. So that's self-autonomy. And also, the participants should be provided with adequate information about the study. And they have the right, I mean, the participants have the right to withdraw at any time from the research without facing negative consequences. So that is autonomy, self-rule. For example, in a social science study exploring sensitive topics like personal relationship, participants should be fully informed about the nature of the study and the potential questions they may encounter. This enables the participants to make autonomous decisions about their participation without feeling coerced. So that is autonomy, self-rule. Another component of self-rule is you should disclose information to the participants before they participate in the study. So therefore, the participant must have agreed and authorized the research for you to carry it out using his specimen or data. Another component of ethical issues in research is non-malfeasance. That is, do no harm. Do no harm. Non-malfeasance emphasizes the obligation not to cause harm intentionally. Researchers must take measures to minimize any potential risk or discomfort that participants may experience during the study. For example, in a psychological experiment involving the administration of stress-inducing tasks The researcher should carefully design and monitor the study to ensure that the stress levels are within acceptable limits and participants are not unduly harmed or distressed. So when you are carrying out a kind of research that will have to subject the human participants to certain things that are risk to their life, the researcher must do this, bearing in mind not to cause harm to the participant. That's what the non-malfeasance is all about. Then justice or fairness. Justice in research involves ensuring fair distribution of the benefits and burdens of research. Participants should be selected fairly, and the benefits of research should be distributed equitably. For example, in a study on a new educational intervention for children with learning disability, it is important to ensure that participants are selected from diverse backgrounds and the benefits of the intervention are accessible to all children with learning disabilities rather than favoring a particular group. Another component is veracity, telling the truth. Veracity involves being truthful and honest in all aspects of research. Researchers must provide accurate information to participants, sponsors, and the public about the nature, purpose, and potential risks and benefits of the study. For example, a researcher studying the effect of dietary supplements should provide participants with accurate information about the supplement's composition, the potential side effects, and the scientific uncertainties surrounding its efficacy. Here now, the researcher wants to administer a particular drug. So the researcher should at least let the participant know the content of what he's giving to the participant, the side effects, and some certain uncertainties that are existing in the use of that drug. Okay, that's what here is trying to let us know. Now, that is veracity. Then next is privacy. Privacy refers to the right of participants to control access to their personal information and the freedom to decline discussing certain issues or answering specific questions. Example, in a survey on mental health, participants should be assured that their responses will be kept confidential and they have the right to skip questions they find intrusive or uncomfortable without facing any repercussion while filling the questionnaire or while being interviewed. So it is their private. So they should be allowed, and whatever information given out by them should be of confidential. And that is why most questionnaires we don't require your name. Okay, we don't require your name. Then they also should be allowed to skip questions that they find intrusive, like that they cannot review or they find uncomfortable without you trying to react that they didn't answer this question. It is their right. That's the right of privacy. The next is confidentiality and anonymity. This means that individuals are free to give and withhold as much information as they wish to. Okay, so that is what confidentiality and anonymity is all about. That individuals are free to give and or withhold as much information as they wish to. Okay. And also, anonymity goes further to ensure that participants' identity cannot be linked to their individual responses. That is why, like I said earlier, questionnaires, you don't require the patient's or the participant's what? Name. Example, in a study on sensitive topic like substance abuse or like abortion or HIV patients, researchers should take measures to maintain the confidentiality of the participant response using coding system or aggregate reporting. Anonymity might be achieved by avoiding the collection of any identifying information of the participants. So these are the components in ethical issues that a researcher must oblige to when carrying out research. First, we said you have to submit your work to the ethical review committee, who will look into it to weigh the benefit and the risk. And for them to give you approval, the benefit should be much more than the risk. Okay. And the benefit includes contributing to existing knowledge. It should contribute to existing knowledge. It should contribute to treatment. It should contribute to the solving of problem. Okay. Then, while collecting those data, if you have received the approval, you should be able to maintain beneficence, doing good, that the research will not harm the subjects. Then autonomy, you must allow the participants to exercise this right, okay, of self-determination and voluntarily giving out whatever they're giving to you, or allowing you to use their specimen or their body with informed consent. Then no malfeasance, that your work will not be harmful or potentially risky to the study participants. Then justice, you assuring that there is a fair distribution of the benefits and burden of the research. Then veracity, you should be truthful to the participant before you give your questionnaire or you collect your sample or you use their data. You must tell them the truth, what the research is all about, the nature, the purpose of their research, and potential risk and benefit of the study. That is why you always give them a particular letter requesting them that they might. That's your letter. You are going to state these things: the nature, purpose, and potential risk and benefit of your study, that they will understand. Everything about the research should be explained there. Then privacy, that whatever information they are giving to you, you must make it a private issue. And also they have the freedom to decline discussing some certain issues or answering specific questions from you. Okay, and whatever information they gave to you must be confidential and under anonymity. You must never link their response to their name or their identity. So these are the ethical issues that the researcher must maintain after obtaining ethical approval from ethics review committee. In some school of thought, you are expected to apply at least 3 ethical principles. Okay. One is beneficence. In a medical research study evaluating a new treatment for a rare disease, the researcher ensures that the potential benefit of the treatment outweighs the risk of the participant. Then autonomy, like we explained earlier, you must fully inform the participants. They must be aware of the purpose and they must voluntarily agree to participate in your research without feeling pressured. And they also have the right to withdraw at any point in time during the research. Then lastly, confidentiality and anonymity. That means whatever information they gave to you must be maintained confidential, and whatever information they have given to you must be under anonymous. You must not reveal it or link their response to their name or identity. So this is all about ethical clearance, how to obtain ethical clearance, ethical issues, why you are in the field to carry out a research.